Hello, my loves. Let's talk about stress, baby. Let's talk about stress and you and me, specifically 9 ways that we add stress to our lives. Like we just scoop it on there like it's Jello salad, and we don't need to do that. As always, we never go into the shadow without bringing in some light-filled solutions. This is actually the second session in a series of 3 conversations I'm having about the nervous system, because I feel nervous system regulation should be the number one priority for every human being and the bugs and the animals on the planet. And that would change everything, everything, everything. The nervous system is how we experience life. It's responsible for sending signals from the brain to the body, our blushing, our breathing, our sweating, our emotionality. It's a really big deal. And in honor of that big deal, I have been asking myself for really about 3 years, what is the most effective, consistent, steady, deep, and immediate way that I can be of service? Is it doing more prayers? Is it creating more meditations? Is it holding community? I think it's all of those things. And that all speaks to the nervous system. So I have created a new program. I really think it's my most methodological offering since the Desire Map. And 400,000 people thought the Desire Map worked. So here's the next offering. It's called the Nourish System. It's an 8-week program where you get clear on how you are going to create your own Nourish system for your life. So I'm not making some ridiculous, grandiose influencer claim that in 8 weeks, in just some simple steps, you are going to regulate everything that's been dysregulated for months, if not decades. But I'm setting up a hold your hand, spirituality focused, regulate your nervous system protocol. And there's so much talk about nervous system right now, as there should be. It really is becoming front of mind for so many of us. And I love that. And I'm so happy about that. And the absence in a lot of those offerings is the soul. And so around these parts, we look at everything as energy, and the heart is the portal to all healing. The heart is the portal to intelligent thought, right action, tapping into wisdom so we know if we are in fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, and what we can do to come back into balance. So with respect to the Nourish system, I'm going to do something I rarely do. I want to read you a testimonial. This is from Cynthia. Cynthia is part of our Heart-Centered membership, and I've been working some of the Nourish system content into that community. And Cynthia has this to say: although I've loved every single gathering, this one for me today was loud. I think Cynthia means loud in a good way, because the whole point is to calm the nervous system. She goes on to say, I've been working with my nervous system for a long while. And although I've come a long way, I still have a ways to go in coming to a good space. Don't we all? I loved learning more about the different responses and what supports those responses. And I'll be starting today. More, please. I got more for you, Cynthia. I got more for the world. Nourish System. You head to daniellelaporte.com/Nourish System. Okay, let's talk about the stuff that drains, dysregulates, stresses, grinds on our nervous systems. I have 9 ways that we add stress to our lives, and of course, some suggestions for healing. Number 1, we hit repeat. We hit repeat on the stories. We engage in rumination. Let me give you the definition of rumination. A deep or considered thought about something, the action or process of thinking deeply about something. It sounds good so far, right? But here we go. The action of chewing cud. as in cows regurgitating the stuff that they are trying to get down and eventually will get down. And the regurgitating is the emphasis here. We grip thoughts. We get aroused from reviewing the same thing over and over again. It gives us this false sense of control and power. I think the ruminating, the retelling of stories, the fixation on circumstances and the thoughts related to those circumstances, I think that looping is a way that we hypnotize ourselves. We numb ourselves out to all the various pains and frustrations of life by looping on a thought and creating the same groove. Repetition is often perceived as comfort, and it certainly can be, but we need to ask, is it positive repetition or is it negative repetition? Hitting repeat on the same story, same fixation, is toxic repetition. We use the same phrases when we're talking about the same thing over and over again. So, what's the solution to this? You have to intend to notice what you're hit and repeat on. So, you're just going to declare to yourself right now. Actually, let's do it right now together. I love these moments in our sessions. Let's take a deep breath. We'll take a few breaths together. And the idea here is we want to calm the nervous system. So we do natural breathing, meaning your mouth is closed and you inhale and exhale through the mouth. So just do like 2 or 3 breaths with me. Inhaling. Exhaling at your own pace. Focusing on your heart center, that warm, friendly, golden, luminous quality. And let's do one more breath together. Inhaling. Releasing. And then from this place, calmer mind, focus on your heart. You can make a declaration to yourself right now. It might go like this. I want to notice my thoughts. I intend to notice when I hit repeat. I want to see how I hit the replay button. So that's the first step to healing this. You intend to notice, and you're going to start to notice same old kvetchin. Really, you can tell that story again? That same thought form when you're seeing the person when you walk out the door. Okay. Just intend to notice, oh my gosh, it's the same loop again. I do this every time I leave the house. Every time I think about that person, I replay that one thing they said to me that time over there. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense. We don't even remember it correctly. Okay, so step 1, we intend to notice. It's our commitment to be more conscious, right? All right, and then step 2, this is my favorite. I do this all the time. Of course I do it all the time or I wouldn't be telling you about it. You drop it in the campfire. This is what I mean by this. I have a sticky thought, a loopy thought, a thought that is not vibing at the vibration I want to live my life. I have a negative thought, an unloving thought. I see a campfire in my mind, like I'm sitting around the fire, nobody else is there, and I put the thought in the fire. I don't even need to finish thinking the thought. It was, I offer you up. The energy with this is, it's not a get out of my life, I am repulsed by you, I am banning you to the edges of the universe, I have no use for you, because the way my mind works, it's so good at looping. I would actually be thinking about, in my neurotic way, is that thought going to come back and find me someday? Like when I find that extra sock in the wash that I've been looking for so long, is that thought going to come from the rings of Saturn and come back for me? Well, it actually might, because you actually can't let anything go. I'm going to get into that a whole other time. But I want to give the thought up as an offering. I want to see myself working with nature elements. I'm getting into alignment with what is pure, good, and beautiful. And the thought gets totally dissolved into ashes. So thank you for the thought. Into the fire it goes. And then, this is the third step, and then you hit play on gratitude. So you have the intention to notice. You're going to start noticing more about what you're repeating. The repetition comes up. Just say thank you. Give it to the fire. You could also do like a little trash bin, a little delete bin. You could make a little sound effect even when you do it. Whatever is going to work for you. You offer it up. And then you distract your monkey mind with gratitude. You could even, instead of a distraction, you could move into physical presence. You could just feel your feet on the ground. I suggest that you create a regular, consistent practice. So you always feel your feet on the ground. That's going to be your method. Or you're going to notice 4 things in your immediate vicinity that you are grateful for. Or you're going to think of God, the deity of your choice, some element of Mother Nature, and say thank you. Intend to notice, and you will. See the looping, say thank you, put it in the fire, and then hit play on current noticing. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Okay, next way, number 2 on our list of all the stressy, gnarly things. We hyperfocus on the negative. I know it's going to sound obvious, but let me unpack it for you. We focus on negative traits or qualities of ourself or of others. So it goes like this. Let me give you some scripts for this. She's really caring, but she's so serious. She has no sense of humor. She's no fun at work. I don't think I should invite her to the event. So we start with something positive because we're good, loving people, and we all listen to With Love, Danielle, and we're on the path. So we start with some loving kindness, and then but. Okay, another example. I'm a great parent. But I have so much debt. How am I going to pay my kids' tuition? I should have stayed in that job. It was reliable and dependable. It's my brain. Maybe I have ADHD. I don't know how to budget. Then I can't afford XYZ. So start with positive, and then the but comes in. Okay, so let's do an example with a person where we would say, they've got such soulful eyes. Great guy, great woman, great person. A good kisser even. But, total dad bod. This is the dad bod. And how am I going to look next to this person? And I'm trying to get the weight off myself. And obviously, they're not into physical fitness. And I really need to be with someone who helps me be as committed to fitness as I want to be. Right? So this is the healing move to make. You got to look at the butts. And I don't mean the butts of dad bods. I mean the time where we're positive, we're loving, we're cheerful, we're friendly to the part of ourselves we're looking at, or the person in front of us, or the situation. And then we put in the but. And this is the healing move. Use an and. Because the stress move here is that we hyper focus on the negative. Of course there's negative. Of course there's downfalls, and there's faults, and there's imperfections, and we got to see them. It's part of being awake and discerning. But to hyper focus on it is where we really sabotage ourselves and we start to dysregulate. So the but, soulful eyes, great person, good kisser, and dad bod, and a little out of shape. That one small word, switching the but for an and, has us go from being contracted, constricted, and judgmental to more open, more spacious, and more gracious. Back to the example of, I'm a great parent, but I've got so much debt. I'm a great parent. Like, I'm such a loving mother or father, and I've got so much debt. It's just like, it creates some okayness. When we bring the and into the negative circumstance, just got like a little doorway some more possibilities. I'm this and I'm that. I am multidimensional. Okay. So we replace the but with the end. Number 2, this is the solution for dissolving our hyper focus on negativity. You got to be the cheerleader. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Speak highly. Emphasize the positive. Imagine this is you really taking on your power as a healer, okay? Imagine that your focus, your energy, what you pay attention to is watering and growing particular qualities in yourself and in other people, because it is. So you're going to focus on what's working, what's positive, what's beautiful. You can see the flowers and you can still see the weeds, but focus on the positive. Okay, number 3, you're going to love the part that you're complaining about. Love the situation, love the element, the aspect, the thing, the person, the quality that you're complaining about. You don't deny it. You don't deny that someone has no sense of humor and they're so serious and that they can be difficult to work with or be with. You don't deny that you've got the debt and it's creating some stress. You don't deny that the person that kisses so great maybe could put some more effort into their physical wellness. You see it. You bring it into your heart. You love it. You don't reject it. You don't try and crush it. And here's the last healing tip for this. What if you walk through the world considering that all of us are 80% awesome? You're 80% awesome. So why focus on the 20%? This isn't the Pareto's principle, right? Just 80% of the time, focus on 80% of your awesomeness. I guarantee you it will set you free. It will help you regulate your nervous system, sleep through the night, balance out your cortisol levels, all sorts of beautiful things. Third way that we add stress to our lives. This is so unnecessary. Self, shame, and blame. It's a really bad game. We get engrossed in constant self-criticism. Okay, so I want you to pause, take that breath, heart-centered, and think of the conversation that you've been having with yourself most of today. It's a chit-chat in the background. What'd you think about yourself when you looked in the mirror today? When you got online? Any comparing yourself to everybody else who is so filtered and happy everywhere online? Do you notice yourself criticizing yourself? Probably, I'm guessing, because human. Do you notice yourself criticizing, critiquing, or complaining about other people? Probably, because human. All right, but this is where we really become enlightened pros here. Do you notice yourself criticizing yourself for criticizing yourself? I should be more loving. I shouldn't be talking to myself like this. See how twisted it is? This is like the tricky trick of being on the self-help path, where we start to use all the personal growth tools as forms of punishment, right? So here's the healing move. You hear the voice. Just like I asked you to pause, and you just bring your consciousness, zoom back a little more, hover over yourself. You bring your attention to your inner chatter. You just hear the voice, because so much of the time we don't hear the voice. It's just whispering in the basement. We're not even noticing how it's affecting our choices, our behavior, our responses, our reactions. So the healing move is to become conscious of the conversation we're having with ourselves. That's a revolutionary step, by the way. And then you respond to that voice with love. You treat your inner critic with compassion. You do not criticize your inner critic. What does a mean girl need other than manners? Mean girls and bullies need love and compassion. We turn the table by bringing it all into the heart. You hear the voice. You speak to the voice, the critic, lovingly, and you respond to it as the mother, the father, the parent of your own life. You hear the shame refrain. You hear the blame game being played again. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I understand why you feel that way. You meet it with love. And there's so many reasons to be proud of yourself. We are so equipped to handle the situation. I have so much love to help heal the situation. We have the resources. We are divinely guided. We have never actually been let down, have we? Fourth way that we just scoop on the stress. We take on too much. Okay, so we know this, but I have a finesse to this one. We take on too much so that we can be seen as the best. So let's really get down to the reason here. So many of us put too much on our plate. The yeses, the lists, the extra commitments, the one more gig, the extra project, all the things. Okay. Why? Yeah, to be liked. I think it's even deeper than that. We want to be the best. So we take on more than we can handle, whether it's with work projects or therapizing our partners or attempting to be flawless, enlightened parents and friends. And essentially what we're doing is we're trading our time and energy for respect. And it backfires, of course, because when you get into a bargaining position and your life force is what's up for negotiation, you're never going to get the respect that you crave. So here's the healing move. First of all, I think we are all so busy or so numbed out that no one is going to notice if you actually do less. Right? Everybody is either spaced out, zoned, totally dysregulated, overtaxed, maxed, overcommitted, that if you just downshift, they're not even going to be paying attention. So there's that. But really the most powerful reframe here is to really honor your aspiration for excellence. Of course, you want to be the best. Of course, most of us want to raise our standards and get there. The only thing that we can be best at is being authentic in the moment. And there's no negotiating when we're being ourselves. Okay, number 5 on our list of 9 ways that we stress out. This has to do with relationships. We make things that are not okay. But I want to be really specific about this. We make lack of virtue in our key relationships okay. Let me say that again. Someone is not virtuous and we settle for it. We settle for unappealing qualities, really lack of values and lack of virtues. We justify, we overcompensate. Let me give you the definition of a virtue here. A virtue is a soul quality. It's a higher vibration energy. A virtue is a higher state of consciousness. So the easiest way to explain virtue is to say that love is the highest virtue. It's not a feeling or an emotion. Love is a heightened state of consciousness. It's a beingness, not a doingness, not an emotion that comes or goes according to what's happening inside us or around us. Generosity, resilience, compassion, forgiving, these are all virtues. This is what we do when we settle. We make it okay that someone is not honest with us. Oh, it's okay. They've got all these other qualities. But really? They're not honest? We make it okay that someone is just not practicing generosity. They're not generous with their time, with their compassion, with their things. They just don't share very well. We make it okay that someone we work with, are in relationship with, does not practice the basics of loving kindness. What I'm really rooting for all of us is that we prioritize the soul fundamentals, that we want to give our energy, our love, our time, our vows, our commitment to virtuous spaces, virtuous people. Do you really want to hang out with someone who refuses to forgive you? That's a fundamental. So this isn't about not digging somebody's habits. It's not about personality traits. This is not a conversation about meaningless expectations about if someone's meeting your needs, if someone's got enough style, or even if they believe the same things that you do. Beliefs actually don't matter that much. They come and go. Our beliefs should get shattered and evolved, and I think we should have fewer beliefs the more enlightened we become. It's not about if somebody loads the dishwasher right or does anything right according to you. What we're asking is, are they kind? Are they compassionate with you? Have they got the fundamentals right? I've had so many conversations, too many, with women friends over the years where I just said, look, he's mean. Leave. You're in a relationship with a person who does not yet know how to love. This is not a virtuous guy. Fundamental nutrients. And I'm guessing that some of us are thinking right now, oh my God, I got to get out of this relationship. And we're doing this internal inventory. If someone is virtuous, matching up, checking these spiritual boxes, that's not a bad idea. It doesn't mean that you have to leave the relationship. We all are on the evolutionary spiral of waking up to our true nature, which is love, which is all those virtues. Divine love is the mama virtue that gives birth to all of these rays of light: resilience, compassion, forgiving, loving kindness, generosity, etc. And we grow into our true selves. We dissolve illusions about separateness and our origins, and we get clearer on our loving nature and where we came from. It's a process for us also. This isn't about kicking everybody to the curb because they haven't gotten over this stuff. But this is a heavy word. It's a strong word. I am imploring you because I love you, because I want you to regulate your nervous system, because I want you to create conditions of healing for your life, because I want you to be happy and healthy. I would love for you to consider not settling in those really fundamental, divine, essential for health and happiness ways. All that to say, it's way less stressful when you hang out with virtuous people. Okay, let's move on. Number 6, how we create stress, how we add stress to our lives, how we jack our nervous systems. We reject the positive. So it's like this: you won the lottery. And you say, I have to pay taxes. We all know this person, or we've been this person. Someone apologizes to you. They say, I'm so sorry. And your response, it's like you're sitting there, you hear the apology, you see the sincerity on their face. You can see how the other person's body language has softened. They're in that really sweet state, but you just can't let it go. And you say, and it's like this demon inside of you comes up, and you say something like, it's not the first time. And you reject the positive. You reject the apology. Why? It was there. It was so sincere. You saw it. They had the puppy dog eyes, and it was authentic. Could have had this moment. You could have melted, but you got into rejection. It's like it's a sunny day, and we complain about having to be inside to work. Sun. It's the sun is shining. Okay, so the healing move is to embrace the positive. Obviously, this is the antidotal ninja switch. You celebrate, you move into gratitude. Gratitude gets the serotonin flowing, the dopamine, all those happy neurotransmitters nourishing you. Don't reject the positive when it shows up. It'll stop coming as frequently. Same thing with the muse, by the way. So you got to pull over to the side of the road and write down the idea when you get the idea, because the muse takes everything really personally. And she's just waiting for you to tune in, listen, and capture it so you can build on things. So like little fragments of ideas. She's actually taking you to a bigger landscape. Just got to stop. Make a note. Okay, number lucky 7. We deny what sucks, and it actually creates a lot of stress. We suppress, we repress the stuff that we actually want to go away instead of just addressing the truth of the situation. It's like, yeah, this is how I've done it in the past, maybe just once or twice. Like, want to lose weight, but will not step on the scale. And I go through this story with myself. I say, it's not the pounds that matters, how my jeans fit. Even though, there's been those times where like my baggy boyfriend jeans have turned into my skinny jeans. Listen, what we pay attention to grows. Pay attention to what's on the scale. Danielle, just have the courage to step on. And it's actually become a truth exercise for me. I want to know the truth. I want to know why something isn't working. I want to know how much I weigh. I want to know how much money is in the bank account. I want to know who lied about what. I want to know the truth. So just face it head on. This is why I think we resist admitting to what sucks, denying it. We get into this little panic spiral. We think that if we admit to what sucks, we're going to have to do all these things about it. If I admit to how strenuous my marriage is right now, I'm going to have to get a divorce. And that means we'll have to separate all these things. And then we got the lawyer fees. And then we go down this loop. Listen, clarity comes when you just move into admission of what sucks. The solution to healing, rectifying, curing, dissolving what sucks will appear when you stand in truth. And when you stand in truth, the solution that shows up, the new ideas and the people who will come to help you may not be what you expected or thought of when you were in that bound place of denial, when the aperture of your mind was closed shut because you just didn't want to know, right? I used to see this all the time when I was jamming with my clients, when I used to do one-on-one, I called them fire starter sessions, where I never said I was a coach because I didn't want to walk people to their own answers. I just wanted to tell you what I thought, because that's what I wanted on my entrepreneurial journey. I just wanted a really wise, experienced person to tell me what they would do in my situation. So I set my career up to get paid to just do exactly that. And I'd be jamming with someone and they would start to hint, just kind of like moderately complain about something that wasn't working. It was usually, someone on their team. Let's say that was the most common example. And I'd walk them through a series of questions. And usually I would get into like how they felt in their body with the person, what they were fantasizing about in terms of if this person wasn't there, how would the business change? What different ideas would move to the top of the list of priorities? And then there would be that eureka moment. And they go, this totally sucks. Be like, yeah, isn't it amazing? Isn't it so exciting to see what's not working? You're dragging your ass to it. This whole thing is not working. You've got Sunday night anxiety about it. Do you really want to be going into this job? The sales are dismal because, sometimes the universe does speak to us through cash flow. It's not working. There's a bleak absence of synchronicity. Life is saying like, no go. This is a red light. Nothing is flowing, right? There's not a lot of gratitude coming your way. Or this one, you are seething with resentment. Seething resentment is an indication that something sucks, right? Just we admit to it. Face it. Straight spine. Take a deep breath and you just say, this completely sucks. And you do not need to worry about how you're going to fix what's broke. You just notice what sucks with ruthless honesty. And then there's this rush, this momentary rush in that admission, that moment of courage, really. It's like this strange kind of sense of elation. I call it, I know it sucks euphoria. And when you're high on that truth, actually, when you're grounded in that truth, you've got a whole new vantage point of where to go next. So you just turn the lights off when you leave and you announce your new destination. So the healing move when you are denying what sucks is to courageously face it in a safe space. Emphasis on safe space, because we are nourishing your nervous system. You're going to write it out. Maybe you want to do a write and burn. I've got a whole write and burn ritual that you can get in my website. You're going to journal. You're going to tell God. You're going to tell your bestie. You're going to tell your therapist. Full declaration. Don't worry about how you're going to get where you think you need to go. Just get high and grounded on the truth. Can I just hit pause here and ask, is talking about how we add stress to our lives stressful? I'm thinking about that myself right now. I'm thinking after we wrap up here, I'm going to do some nervous system love. For me, that is Shavasana. Just like set my timer, 4 minutes on the floor, maybe I even fall asleep. Yeah. And doing what I need to do to prepare my body, my mind for sleep. Yeah. I want to tell you a little more right now about the Nourish System program. So 8 weeks of identifying your stress response and creating a support system for you. And then, have I mentioned, I'm going to hang out with you for about a year. I'm going to check in on you on a monthly basis. And we're going to be looking at body, mind, and heart conditions to keep you on track on a daily basis. I have created all these sweet little checklists. It's like my desire map system meets my fantastic day planner system, which I know a lot of people are missing, and I will come out with it someday. I'm working on a big publishing deal for a new planner system. In the meantime, what I've created is the Nourish System, because I really think that is the answer to everything. If we all focused on that regulation, it would change the world, full stop. And the Nourish System program is a blending of science and spirit. East meets West. And it's done in community, and you can use the system for your whole life. We are getting started on the program. The first week of 8 weeks kicks off on November 21st. So please head over to daniellelaporte.com/nourish system. Number 8 on our list of 9 ways that we add stress to our lives. Unnecessary stress. We're goal obsessed. Goals are a good thing. I mean, Proverbs, without vision, we perish. Very true. We got to know where we want to go, and then the path will become clear. But obsession with where we're going turns into toxic striving. We make everything about the goals. And when that happens, we're not playing. There's such a void of softness and buoyancy in our lives. We get addicted to the metrics and we get brittle. So the healing response is meandering, basking, volunteering. Just press pause on the numbers and the metrics. I mean, for those of us who've got the tricky self-help mind, we have to press pause on things like, did I meditate every day this month? Stop counting. Just recently came across a meditation teacher who I just thought it was so punishing. He checks in to make sure people are meditating every day. What if you're not? Are you less spiritual? It's not about how many asanas, how many minutes, how intensely, how fervently we are walking the path. We're just going to meander with being human. It's okay to zone out in healthy ways. We color, we knit, we cook, we breathe, we cuddle, we nap. Actually, I should have just started there. The remediation for goal obsession is napping. Okay, this last stress edition has such a practical solution, and I think it's really powerful. That's why I left it to the end. One of the most effective ways that we add stress to our lives and dysregulate our nervous systems is we chaos trip before we sleep and when we wake up. So somehow we access images, media, music, news, sound, information that help to circulate thought forms of chaos. We do this before bedtime, and it's like baking into our psyche a looping narrative that's going to play for 8 hours. So this is a great way. This is some kind of healthy self-check. What is the message that you want to have on repeat in your subconscious self for 8 hours? If you're really intentional about that, you're going to approach your sleep time very differently. So no phones, no violent movies, no so-called news. Steer clear of the argument. No doom, no gloom, no facts, no metrics that are upsetting. You can do all of that an hour before you go to bed, but 1 hour before you go to bed, you unplug from the matrix of negativity. Okay. You're going to do the same fantastical act of self-love upon waking up. When we wake up, we are incredibly impressionable. The mind is in that numinous, highly receptive state, and it's such a powerful time to bake in life-affirming, loving, empowering thoughts into your thought system. I'm so intentional about the actual first word that I speak, that I voice every morning. If I'm with my man, first thing I want to say to him is, I love you. Even if there's some cranky happening, I love you. When I'm by myself, I will speak out loud my dedication of merit. Putting on my essential oils, doing my thing. I dedicate the merits of my life today to the awakening of all beings and the healing of Mother Gaia. So be it, so it is. And I brush my teeth. I love that. That is the first audible signal I am putting into the airwaves. That's going to carry me throughout the day. So this is how we can think of it. Whatever we're programming ourselves with before we sleep creates residue in the subconscious mind. It creates backed up energy, you could say. We don't want to do that. We want clear space. And what clears that space is loving thoughts, higher vibration concepts. All right. The other way to look at this is, what's the most loving thing you can do for yourself in the morning? Can you love yourself enough to give yourself an actual morning, peaceful morning? Yeah? Okay. No need to add stress to our lives. The environment, the landscape that we are living in, working in, it's all stressful enough. The mother is going through her own dark night of the soul, and all of the residue that's been held, that's been baked into the subconscious of humanity is waking up. So we want to keep our own individual consciousness as clear as possible so that we can help the collective move through it, so that we can be the light in the darkness, so we can be the higher frequency in the collective that is struggling. As always, I'm going to bake a love note into this podcast. You can head to my site, always free, daniellelaporte.com/love note. lots of prayers and poems and checklists. And this week, you can go find the Metta Bhavana prayer. It's one of the most beautiful gifts to give yourself in the morning and before you go to sleep. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free of suffering. May you be free of mental anxiety. May you live in peace, and may your life be blessed with ease. We're all in this together, and I'm so glad that you're here. And mark your calendar. November 21st, we kick off with the Nourish System. Head to my site, daniellelaporte.com/Nourish System. As always, with love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.